Hello co-reporters, big news coming out about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion, which is setting itself up to be absolutely iconic. According to HollywoodLife.com, Erika Girardi actually wound up getting into a screaming match with Andy Cohen, and we're supposed to see it on one of the parts of the reunion. According to the source, and I quote, most of the fighting was actually done between Andy and Erika, and it's what a lot of the reunion will be about. How interesting that a lot of the reunion is going to be involving Andy himself. Normally, he's just the host trying to get conversations flowing between the women, but this time, according to the source for HollywoodLife.com, something was going on between him and Erika that was so intense that he's actually going to make up a big portion of the show. Wow, you guys, I'm really looking forward to seeing what exactly this might be. We have seen Andy get frustrated with the girls, you know, in past reunions. I've seen it with him versus Erika, that time when she had a migraine and she couldn't take a joke about, you know, collaborating with John Mellencamp or whatever. We've seen it with him getting upset about Ramona refusing to answer questions about her divorce, etc., etc. But it's typically like a one-off, you know, or a couple little digs here and there. But for it to actually be a big part of the reunion is going to be quite interesting. So, you know, the source says though that we can't expect for Andy and Erika to finish the reunion at odds. They claim, and I quote, Erika isn't mad at all at Andy and she understands that he had a job to do. So I guess maybe some of the issues were, you know, maybe she wasn't able to be open about certain things just based on the fact that the legal proceedings are still ongoing. Maybe she was trying to hide behind that a little bit too much, even with things that were already public knowledge. Maybe he was holding her feet to the fire about some of these really crazy and very unlikely stories that she came up with to explain certain things. Like, for example, I'm really looking forward to, you know, people asking her why she's using Tom's alleged car accident as an excuse for why he was robbing his victims, because that car accident happened 3 years ago, whereas he had been robbing his victims for upwards of 2 decades, going on 3 decades. You know what I mean? There's a big difference between 20-30 years and 3 years. And of course, it wasn't only Erika getting into a little bit of a heated discussion at the reunion. Garcelle and Lisa Rinna went off on each other as well, so we could definitely look forward to that. I personally want to see Erika also go head-to-head with Kyle Richards, who's been doing an excellent job of being a very sympathetic friend and listening ear to her voice, but talking behind her back with the other girls, with the husbands, and even in her confessionals saying that she doesn't believe pretty much anything that Erika is saying a lot of the times, because these stories are quite unreasonable. And don't forget the infamous scene where she, Mauricio, Dorit, and PK all laughed like hell at the broken ankle story that Erika told about Tom Girardi. Guys, are you looking forward to seeing Erika and Andy Cohen get into it on this season's reunion special? And how long do you think it'll last? What do you think really set Andy Cohen off when it came to Erika Jayne? Make sure to let me know all of your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.